जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा। तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा। जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
रसिक हो नमस्कार. सहर्ष सादर करीत आहोत ज्ञानसाधना गीत. कवी प्राध्यापक प्रवीण दवणे, संगीत विनय राजवाडे.
शिवाचे मंदिर सुंदर मानव्याचा ध्यास निरंतर. सत्य शिवाचे मंदिर सुंदर मानव्याचा ध्यास निरंतर. गुरु शिष्याच्या नात्यामधली प्रतस्थ मन साधना. सदैव उजळो आपुली ज्ञान साधना ज्ञान साधना. अज्ञानाचा तमः सारुण विश्वात्मक स्वर येई उजळून. अज्ञानाचा तमः सारुण विश्वात्मक स्वर येई उजळून. शूरवीर संतांचे पूजन जागविते चेतना. ज्ञान ज्योतीने
A very good afternoon to one and all. I, Miss Aditi Desai, welcome you to our 12th program of Glorious 40 of Satish Pradhan Dnyanasadhana College, Thane. Our today's session is based on TROUVAILLE, a chance of wondering something wonderful on tourism. Travel makes us modest, right? In today's world, almost everybody chooses to travel as a leisure. Traveling is good way to learn about the world. Also, it teaches us many interesting things about the culture of different nationalities. I can spend an entire day talking about how fascinating it is to travel around. But today we have a special guest who will share facts about tourism with us. So we further ado, let's dive deep into this session. So I just welcome Miss our Vice Principal Sanjot Devskar ma'am to give us a speech about this tourism. So let's welcome them.
Thank you and welcome to our 12th program of Glorious 40. The institute has completed 40 years, and myself, Sanjot Devskar, Vice Principal, I have completed 30 years of service in this institution. So we are very closely knitted together. Today's program, I am very much sure it will be very, very wonderful, very interesting, and very informative. Travel industry is growing like anything. I will like to share with our today's speaker or today's guest, Survey sir, that I have done my PhD on travel and tourism. Basically, role of tourism is sustainable development for in Konkan. Your area is different, but I wanted to just share that we are from the same field, and this is the coincidence. Today I was not supposed to address the program, but this is the 11th hour arrangement, and I got a chance. I will listen to your speech, and certainly I will like to get certain knowledge, the latest knowledge, whatever it is happening in world. In tourism sector, and how tourism will be providing various opportunities for my students. My students are coming from different faculties, basically commerce. Today's will be mainly from commerce faculty and science faculty. I'm sure that they will learn a lot at how many opportunities are there, how much opportunities are there in tourism sector, and how they can grab that, how they can use that. So welcome, sir. Welcome, Survey sir. Atul Survey sir. I am very much keen to listen to your speech, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to start this program. Thank you.
Thank Thank you, ma'am, for giving us such information about yourself as well as your college. Now, I would like to introduce Dr. Dilip Pangare, sir, who has completed his MCom, MBA, Masters in Philosophy, and PhD. Today, he is not there in this session, so we'll just move to our speaker. I would like to express my thanks to Miss Mrs. Sanjot Devuskar, ma'am. Now, I would like to introduce Dr. Atul Surve sir to give guidance about their career in tourism. He is a great personality who started his career at the age of 22. In 1985, he played under 22 cricket at Ruya College. He had represented for Gujarat State in Ranji Trophy. He played for CK Naidu tournament at Mofatlal Sports Club with his classmates Ashok Mankar sir and Brijesh Solkar sir. He started tourism with his father at the age of 22 years in 1985. He also had a trip with Dr. Satish Pradhan sir in 1984. He had gone to many places with cricketers from 1985 to 1989. In 2000 to 2007, he conducted corporate tours. In 2007, he started with a Star Tours. He had in 1 year he traveled with 32,000 people per year. So let's introduce sir and let's give a speech about him. Over to you, Atul sir.
Can you hear me? Good afternoon, everybody. It's great pleasure to be with you, along with you, and congratulations to you all for completing 40 years. And it's your Ruby celebration, so it's a great achievement. And of course, it's really privilege for me to be with you in front of all these senior people, the doctors, and everyone. And I'm really happy for giving me this opportunity. I don't know whatever little knowledge about the one faculty of this travel and tourism, which Madam was Devaskar was saying. Of course, she is PhD, so she has a lot of information about the entire tour industry, tourism. But just we are going to cover, at least I will try to cover what one of the part of that, which is a tour manager, which is a profession, which is quite interesting, and it's a part and parcel of this program as well. Now, just few corrections here. Sorry about that. But first of all, I'm not doctor. I haven't done any PhD or anything. Another thing, I have not played Ranji Trophy, but I did represent Gujarat in under 22. And yes, just to give you some information about me, let me start with that. I started, of course, my schooling was done in Thane very much in MH High School. After that, I joined Ruya. I started playing for Ruya College. It was basically the cricket I was pursuing right from my childhood, because my father is also a Ranji Trophy player. He played for Gujarat for 11 years. And obviously, from him, I had that interest and I started playing at a very young age. And then I joined Ruya College. I played for Ruya. And the same time, I started pursuing my cricketing career. So I opted for Gujarat instead of Bombay in those days, because Bombay was too tough, I thought, to play Ranji Trophy or so. So I shifted there. I mean, on my birthright, I did play for Gujarat. And then after playing that, the same year, I think I joined Mafatlal Sports Club, which was one of the best clubs in India, a private club, as a professional cricketer. I'm a batsman, basically. I used to open, or I used to bat at number 3, which is called one down. And then I was pursuing. Unfortunately, I did not go very far. Maybe I had limitations or whatever the reason, but I did whatever I did honestly. And meanwhile, I started going abroad at very young age. In 81, I went to UK to play the league there, because it's always an advantage to play in summer in England, because it's not that the English are great cricketers or bowlers. It's just the weather conditions there that gives you experience. People from all around the world, they come to play during summer, English summer there. So you come across a lot of different, say, bowlers or cricketers. So it's a great advantage. And basically, that time, it's a rainy season here. I'm talking about, say, from May or April to August. So there is no cricket in India that time, at least in Bombay. So I played for 3 years there. I was pursuing my career. And till 84, I was with Mafatlal. Fortunately, I had an opportunity to play with very big names, like Ashok Mankad was a test player, Brijesh Patel was my captain, both of them. Then Dhiraj Pasan, a lot of cricketers. And I played with players, quite few of them have played for India as well, like Chandrakant Pandit, who represented India, played for India, Raju Kulkarni, Lalchand Rajput, they were my classmates. We were in fact classmates from Ruya. And till 84, I did pursue that. And later, of course, then I was playing, but I stopped pursuing that professional. I was with Mafatlal till then, 84, 85. And then 84, that was the first time I was introduced to tours, rather. It was my father who first organized a cricket tour to Kenya. That was in 85. And Satish Pradhan sir was part of our group. We were there for 28 days. It was basically to take the boys abroad or across and give them exposure, because it is really great to go and play out against in different climatic conditions, different bowlers, different environment. So, the people who are aspiring to make their career in cricket, it was for them basically. So we went there. We had a lot of cricket at that time. And that was our first tour, or my first experience. Of course, my dad, he did organize, but I was helping him. And later, of course, we went fully into it, my father and me, and I was also instrumental later. By 1989, we started cricket tours professionally. And then we started conducting tours to UK. We were taking the aspiring cricketers, because it's always, as I said earlier, it's a great advantage to play in UK. And we used to take the tour program used to be for 3 weeks. After that, we used to have organized 10 matches for them, everything like food, accommodation, cricket, transport, everything we used to do. My mom initially used to help me cooking, because eating out there is very expensive. So we used to, because usually the background from us, these cricketers, it's basically all middle class. So boys should afford. So that's what we were looking at. So we used to cook at home. So she was instrumental. Later, my wife joined me. She was also there. So we started conducting these tours, and it went on till 2004 2005 that was during the English summer. We used to be in England, and then around October we used to take tours to Australia. On the way, we used to stop in Singapore. We used to play there as well, make the boys play there as well. And then, of course, the East Africa, which is Kenya and Tanzania, we used to visit. And that's how I started. That's how I got my introduction to this sort of a tourism. I was instrumental. I was helping my dad in organizing and doing everything. And just when we were doing this in 2000, I had an opportunity. I came across now, unfortunately, this problem which have the Cox and King. They have a problem now, but they were doing very well a couple of years ago. I came across them. In fact, I went with a business proposal, and it did not click after 3 4 meetings. But they did offer me a job or sort of a contract. They said, "Would you like to escort the tour?" I was totally new to leisure tours. We used to do basic. Of course, the basics are same, but still leisure tours are different. And what we were doing, a particular sports tour, was totally different. Here we were the boss, of course. And leisure tours, they offered me, and I said, well, if you pay me, I will do it. And that's how I just got introduced into this leisure or corporate world as well. And that was in 2000. I did my first tour for them, and after that, I was doing tours for them till for 8 years, 7 or 8 years. And during that time, I traveled a lot. Of course, they gave me a lot of opportunities. So basically, it was a leisure travel, leisure tours, then corporate tours, then incentive tours. As you know, there are a lot of incentive tours were going till recently all around the world. So because of them, I had an opportunity to visit a lot of places around the world. And it was a really great experience with them. And 2007, I got an opportunity. I had an offer with Star Tours now, which is one of the biggest when it comes to the Indian market in UK. And we do not have much presence, because basically this Star Tours is based in London. Of course, we have offices in Bombay, Ahmedabad, and Bangalore and Madras. But I got an opportunity there, and I joined them. And since then, 2007, 2008 summer, I'm with them. I'm touring with them, and I have done a lot of tours for them. It's quite interesting. It's a lot of learning as well. And it was really good. And still I'm with them. Unfortunately, because of this pandemic, this last summer was very bad. And there were no tours. In fact, the tourism industry has gone on, as you all know. Hopefully, we're just looking forward. At least next year, it should pick up again. Hopefully, if the vaccine comes and if people are confident, yes, then. Because again, if you see, basically what we are doing at the moment is a leisure travel, and that's not a priority unless it's safe. People may not like to join, so we are just hoping for the revival of this industry. And it's quite interesting, to be honest with you. And you learn a lot. Traveling itself educates you a lot. I mean, just as Aditi was saying, she did mention, of course, there's a lot of learning. It's interesting. Now, this profession, I'm just talking about this tour manager's profession, which I'm connected to at the moment. Of course, I was in organizing initially as well, but now basically it's a tour manager's job or his profession, which I would like to say a few things about it. It's quite an interesting job, tour manager or a tour escort. Basically, tour manager, he is the man who is one actually who is front in the front when it comes to any company. He's the face of the company, and there is a lot of responsibility as well. Yes. there is a lot of responsibility to coordinate, basically to satisfy people, which is very difficult when you're traveling with 50 people with different personalities, different professions, different mindsets, and expectations, and you have to satisfy them all. And you're the only person on that tour. They might be booking with your company and everything, but you're the face of the company, and you make or break the tour. That's the job is. It's a very interesting job because you get an opportunity to travel a lot around the world, and of course it's a well-paid job as well. At least once you have an experience, and if you're lucky, if you get into a good company, certainly it's a good profession. And but it comes with a lot of responsibilities and things, because you are the one who has to manage. Now whenever there is a tour, uh, everything is when tour is organized, everything is taken care of well in advance. You have the operations team who they do everything, organizing the tour, the booking the hotels, booking the facilities, the restaurants, everything, the coaches, everything. But when you actually pick up the group, which like you are the only person and people are looking at you, and that's where you have to give them a confidence and you have to make them comfortable, because as I said earlier, again, you make or break the tour. So it's quite interesting. It is interesting, but at the same time with a lot of what you can say, responsibility as well. So uh, what basically, let us start with your expectations from your company, from you when you are getting contracted. Of course, they allot you the tour as per your experience, and the company expects you to take care of everything, bring each and every passenger back happy and smiling. That's the job, and that's really a tough job. It's interesting, but at the same time it's very tough. As I said, there are different people with different personalities, expectations, and you have to satisfy everything, keeping in mind the schedule and the company, the schedule and your tour. And you cannot, what I can say, you cannot you have to make everyone happy, and that's a very tough job. So first of all, when you introduce yourself, when you board the coach or when you take the tour, you have to introduce yourself, and that's the time we just introduce ourselves, and we tell them, brief them about the tour, and what is expected of them, what is of course what are the what is going to be the schedule. Of course, you don't go through the whole schedule at that time, but you do few things, you and just the schedule and everything. You have to brief them, you have to tell them about the safety on board, which is also very, very important, and everything. And it's quite interesting, so you have to break the ice on the first meeting, which is again very difficult, because that first few moments or first half an hour can a person can form an opinion about you, or the things to come. So that's the time you have to be, I mean, first of all, you need to communicate everything, you need to be honest about everything, and you have to give them a confidence. So you tell them about the schedule, you tell them about everything and the things to do, the timings, especially in Europe when you're doing the tours, the timings of the drivers, because all these tours in Europe, the coach tours, what have been organized, or the tours are there, considering the driving hours, all tours are conducted, because it's compulsory, it's mandatory. They have the restriction when it comes to driving hours of the drivers, and the of course the stops, or the what rest he can have. So there are quite a few things, and all these tours, whether you go with Star Tours or any other company, when it's a coach tour, it has to be followed very vigorously, and it is monitored. They have a chip which monitors everything. So every tour has to, when you form a tour, when you have to take that driving hours consideration, and that's how you do the tour. So you have to explain this to people, because as you know, I mean, there are 50 people, and especially when it's Indians, the timing is always a bit of a problem. But when you explain, we are honest, when you explain them everything, people, they do respect, and obviously the timings are followed. You have to be very polite, very polite, and you have to give information, but at the same time, you have to be a bit firm as well. because there are always, out of 50, there will be few or one or two families who will be coming late. But then you can't be rude, but you need to be very polite and firm and make them understand. So that's the job. Like, so that's how the tour starts on the day one. And there are, as I said, a lot of responsibility, because everything is taken care of by your your operation department. But still, lot of things can go haywire once you're on the road. Like there can be so many problems. Like, while just even if you are going, you can get stuck on the road with the traffic, which you can't help. When sometimes when you go, I mean. There is a problem communication, because there are so many tools the operations is handling. There might be a mishap. Usually it doesn't happen, but there is always a chance that something can go wrong. So you have to coordinate with your hotels, you have to coordinate with your suppliers, you have to coordinate with your restaurants, because everything is organized, everything, the timings and everything is even given for lunch or dinner or everything. So which you have to, and if you get stuck on the traffic, you need to do that coordination. You have to do just call. So the first thing, once you make the passengers comfortable, you just pick up the phone and you start calling your, first of all, the hotels, confirm your, or reconfirm rather, reconfirm your hotels, your bookings. Then just start calling the restaurants with whom you are booked for a lunch or a dinner or whatever it is. And of course, other services, like if you are visiting some place, usually sometimes you get the timings as well. So you have to coordinate with that. So anything can go wrong. As I said, I mean, operations, even they are human beings, they also can make some mistakes. So it's better to just have a second defense, or just to call them, and that's a sort of a job. And of course, taking care of passengers, there can be a problem, there can be a sick person, there can be a handicap, and you just have to take care of everything, and you have to take care of them. And because ultimately, when they go happy, then only the company is going to get a credit. So you are the person who can make or break the tour. So it's a very important position. It's interesting, but at the same time, it's very tough as well. Just imagine managing 50 people from different parts of the world, different parts of country, and different mindset, different backgrounds, and that's the job. But yes, if you're firm, if you're polite, and if you have got a good communication skill, if you're honest, and if you're passionate about your job, which is very important in any profession, whether it's mine, it's yours, or whatever, it's very, very you need to be passionate about your job. Then only you can put your heart in, and obviously the things will start following smoothly with you. So it's quite interesting. So many things, even in Europe especially, uh, things that are not like you're the one, because they're relying on you. You go to the places, there are no guides. So you need to be knowledgeable as well, the places, the countries which you visit. Of course, at certain places you have guides where you cannot guide, or you cannot give the information by law. But certainly you should have knowledge about the places you visit, the countries you visit, a little bit about their history, about the geography, about the cities, or it's not that you need to take a class because they are on a holiday. You have to keep that on mind. You cannot go on just talking all the time, but you need to give a certain information, which is very important. And so that helps them as well. And that's why the geography and of course the history of the places you are going to visit, which is very important. Not thorough like a guide, because guide is totally different lot. I mean, they're different profession. You cannot be a guide, you will not be that kind of information, because they are just concentrating on one country or one place, whereas as a tour manager, you're just taking them around all over the places. So it's not possible practically as well to know each and every event or information. And so, but certainly you need a good what you can say, information about the history, geography, and the social things, their currencies, or whatever their traditions, just a bit, but you need to brief them. And that way you earn the respect of passengers as well. Like when the passengers know, and suppose at some places we have a guide and you just brief them, beforehand, before we get off the coach, and when you go there and guide is also giving the same information, automatically they start respecting you. Not they know, because people respect knowledge, obviously. So that's the thing. So these things are very essential. And like I said, you have to be on your guard all the time, because sometimes you book your services, like say restaurant, or if you're going to visit some mountain, even there, uh, you have the timings for the trains or the cable cars or whatever, like or the boats. So sometimes it's simply not possible. You get stuck somewhere, and then you are just you cannot keep your timing. So that's the time. So keeping good relations with the service provider is also a part of this profession, and that's very, very important, very essential, because even at bad times, certain, if you're good, if they know you're good, if they're good with them, they also try to help you. So there are quite a few responsibilities with this, and there can be problems as well. Sometimes you go there, and the last moment the hotel says, no, you have shifted, there is no availability, you have to shift. Of course, a booking has done, but sometimes hotels, they have problems. Restaurants will shift from one venue to other location or whatever it is. So that's the time you're needed. You have to take the decisions. That's very important. You have to keep a cool. And if you lose, if you panic, then things are going to get, because the first thing, whatever the problem comes, you have to sort the problem out. Then you look back and think why this problem was occurred. But there is best is to keep cool and just try to sort out the thing, arrange the things. And whatever has been promised to the passengers, it is our duty to see those that itinerary or those things are completed, because that's a part of that's a tour, like they have been charged for that. So it's your duty to comply, or duty to deliver those things, deliver those service, deliver those goods. So that is the place where we are responsible, and that's why we are the tour managers are there. So it's an interesting job. The remuneration is also not bad. It's good. Of course, it all depends on the your experience and things, qualities, or whatever it is. And that's a little bit demanding as well. First of all, when you take this, you must be you must be there, should be liking to travel, and the passion for this particular job. Then you must be ready to keep away from the family, because once you go on the tour, usually when you go out, the company, if the tours are following, they don't bring you back. Very few companies they do, but you just have to stay there, because economically it's not possible for companies to bring you back and just let you go again on the same day. So you stay there, they arrange accommodation there or something. So you must be prepared to stay away from the family as well. For youngsters, there's no problem, but for people like me, or married people, sometimes it can be a bit taxing as well. But yes, that's a part of your job. And it's quite interesting. So just to get into this job, as I said, I've explained, the first thing, as I said, you must have liking for traveling, then the passion just to, and the communication skill. That's very, very, communication is very important, a pleasant personality, and just a discipline, because the timings are very, very essential. So you have to be disciplined yourself. Like, especially in Europe, I'm talking about, everything works round the clock, and things are the services, everything has been just booked according to that. So maintaining the time is very essential. So basically, you must have a discipline. You must have things that thing that you need to be there. Like, just to give you an example, if your breakfast is at 7, you need to be there at least 10 minutes before breakfast, because when you go there, whatever has been contracted with that particular by your company through with the hotel about the breakfast items, that is also part of our job, to make sure those things are there on the buffet, that they are on the table. If not, you should be there at least 10 minutes before. So it's not there, you need to be there. Then you need to be there to bring, just receive everybody, make them comfortable. And so discipline is also very important. And yes, what I can say, uh, temperament, that's also very, very important. In fact, I will say it's very important because, as I said, there are different people from different background, different characters. So you can never lose your cool. I mean, sometimes passengers or people can be a bit aggressive, bit rude, but you need to keep your cool. It's not that you have to just submit yourself, but at the same time, you have got to be very pleasant and keep cool and be firm in a subtle way. You cannot have their own way because it's not just the one person or one family, it's the 50 people whose interest you have to look after, whose comfort you have to look after. And these tours have been organized in such a way. So it is, you have to take a decision and you need to be very polite, but at the same time, very firm and gets the thing done. So these are the few things like, I mean, and obviously, as you get into this profession over a period of time, certainly you get the experience and then you start following the things. And as I said, everything is organized, but there are so many things which can go wrong on a tour, like breakdown of a coach. And to get a coach again, especially in a foreign country, it's not as easy as what we can do in India, just calling somebody and getting. It takes few things. So you have to take care of everything. You have to maintain the schedule. You cannot miss out on anything which has been promised in your tour. So that is the thing. So this is your responsibility. And of course, as I said, I mean, payment is also not bad. And this can be so many incidents also. They go like, I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I never had a big problem as such on my tour. But my colleagues, sometimes they have somebody has died on the tour. And that's the time you have to be very, very, I mean, you have to be what can I say? You need to show the sympathy, but at the same time, you cannot compromise with the tour as well. So there you can't help simply. You need to take care of everything, whatever best you can do. Your company also helps. You call the company, tell them, but you have to proceed with the tour because rest of the 40 people or 45 people, they have paid for it and they can't miss just because there is a death or anything. So that also happens on the tour, so there are so many incidents which can happen, which can go wrong, but you just have to keep your cool and just proceed with your schedule, because as I said, company has promised, and so company also, they also because at every tour, company will check with the passengers about your performance. They do call and they do ask about everything. They put a questionnaire, and that's how the company also get information about you, about your behavior, your performance. Company calls suppliers as well, so supplier also give the feedback, and that's how your ratings are also there. I mean obviously it's nothing to do with rating, but that's how company also keeps the track of the things. And yes, as I said, it's not a bad profession. You see the world, and of course, it's always nice to travel on someone else's money, but of course, you are working for it. It's not free, but that's how it is. And as I said, the remuneration is also not bad. Now, at the moment, as far as my knowledge, there are no courses as such only for tour manager. If I may be wrong, I'm not too sure, but at least I have not come across. Bombay University does not have any course, any curriculum for that. There are one or two companies they're conducting these courses to be for people who wants to be the tour manager, and that's Thomas Cook, and I heard SOTC as well. They charge you some money, I think 1 lakh 20,000, 25,000. I'm not too sure about it, and it's a course for 3 months. And at the end of the course, whoever excels do good, they do contract them for the future or for their company as well. They may not give you a contract for 3 years or 5 years, but maybe they contract you for 1 year. They will judge you, they will see your performance. And when you're selected, then of course they send you initially with first with a senior person, a senior tour manager. So you just assist him, and then after maybe 1 or 2 tours, then they give you a tour. And that tour, sometimes if possible, they will give you a parallel tour with someone who is senior, who are you're doing the parallel tour, parallel itinerary, so that person can help you or just observe or monitor you as well. And of course, there are a few courses which I have also done. I've done my travel and tourism course way back in 97. And I am also an ITA person now, ITA qualified. But travel and tourism courses are a lot. Actually, they're not necessary for this profession, but certainly it will help as well, because basically it's about fairs and the geography, a little bit of history, the information about the cities where you want to go, and about that. So that can be helpful, and I think there are quite a few institutes or institutions who are doing that. I'm not again sure about Bombay University, but certainly I did from a private company, Trade Wings. I don't know whether they still exist, but I did my the course from there, and then I did my ITA, which is international course, as you know. But yes, certainly it can help you if you're planning to have this sort of a profession, which is quite interesting. Now, there are domestic tours as well as international tours. I have not done domestic tours much. Whatever I've traveled around India, traveled for cricket, because, as I said, I was playing for Maflal Sports Club. We were the number 1 club in India, and so we used to play a lot of matches all around India. So that's how I've done my touring around India. So wherever I used to go to some place, from there we used to visit a place where historical place or anything. But this tourism itself is there is a vast scope. Last 10 years, Deuskar madam will definitely, she will furnish you, or she will give you more information than me about that. But every last 10 years, at least there is a raise of 10 to 11% every year. Unfortunately, since this problem, this pandemic, since last 8 months, it just gone, it's shut, it's no more. But certainly, we are very hopeful. Once the vaccine comes, I think once the people get some, it is going to start again. And in India, this growth is there since last 10 years, 10 to 11% growth every year. And that's because, first of all, we have a huge nation with lots of people, and definitely our economic condition has also gone up. And families have shrunk, obviously. So husband, wife, both are working. So there is more disposable income in their hand. And with the internet and the information technology or whatever, we have so much of, the barriers have gone down. There is an access about the information on, you can have the information about the places, whatever your interest is. And there is more urge, since there is some disposable income in hand, so to travel. And that's why this growth has gone up, and it's very good. In fact, there is quite a lot of new tour operators have just emerged in this last couple of years. And even if you look at the established companies, the business what they're doing is fantastic. Now, just to tell about the Star Tours, we are the biggest in when it comes to Western Europe. It's a London-based company, and of course, as I said, we have 3 offices in India as well. And we carry around, not me, that Aditi said that I carry 32,000 passengers. No, not that's the our just that's the number 6 months numbers for us since last 4 years, which is quite big. If you consider all these Indian operators, I don't think even they come near us. So when it comes to, basically, we are best in London. So our 65 to 65% market is best in UK. With Indians, of course, the Britishers, they don't travel. But nowadays, a lot of Singaporeans, then Mauritians and Malaysians, they are coming with us. But UK and America, that's our market. That's 65% market for us is there. So it makes a little difference as well for us. We are little comfortable than the tour manager with Indian companies. I'm not boasting, but that's a fact. And a lot of new companies are coming up every year, in fact, and there is a tremendous scope. This profession, initially when they started this, there were very few companies, and initially this tour managers, it was dominated by Parsi community. Now, why? Because initially it was totally a new concept. If you just go 20, 30 years ago, and that time there were this 1 or 2 companies. There used to be one Lala Tours in Bombay. They're still, I think, there. And they used to conduct a lot of school tours and scout tours they used to organize. And basically, Lala is a Parsi guy. He was a Parsi guy, or they're Parsis. And that's how these Parsi boys, they were employing, or they were going as a tour managers. And that's why when this tourism started, the leisure tour started, those people were the only people who had a bit of experience, and that's how they got into it. And that's why this tour manager, this profession was initially dominated in India, I will say, by Parsis. It's not the case anymore. Now there are a lot of companies, a lot of people from there coming from all over India, all from every what you can say caste and community, whatever it is. So it's interesting, and there is a lot of scope as well because it's growing. So the new companies are coming, they're coming, the new tour operators are coming, domestic as well as international. So it's a good profession. Now, again, in this profession, I can give you, there are two things. Like there is one permanent employment and one is on contract. So permanent employment, you join some company, you start working for them. Now I will just, there are one or two companies in Bombay. They, once you're employed with them, they just call you and they train you, and then they send you along with their senior tour leaders, and then eventually you join the tour managers, or you can be contracted because of your experience or whatever, like, and this contract is as per the tour. Now if they send you, they will pay you per day. Allowance is decided between you and the company, and most half of it is in foreign exchange, either dollars or euros or pounds, and maybe a part of it in Indian rupees, or it can be total Indian rupees as well. But that's contract. That means the number of days what you spend as a tour manager with that company, they pay you for that. So that's sort of a freelancing, I will say, or a contract or freelancing. So these are the two types. So it's up to you. So even if there is some individual who is a professional, who is on his own, and if he has some time and if he gets an opportunity, if he's trained, if he knows about this profession, he can even go for that. Say you can do that as well in between taking, because people who are employed with someone, it's difficult for them to get a leave or something. But people who are self-employed or on business, and initially I did that because I had my own business and I was just I was a freelancer, so I was getting paid. The days I used to work for Cox and Kings, I used to get paid for that. But it suited me because I had my own business, and those days when I was not working, I was working for them, I was getting paid, and I was traveling around. So you have that opportunity here as well. So these are the two things, but there is definitely a solid scope, I can say, because the number of people who are traveling in India as well as out of India is growing every year. As I said, at least Madam will know better that 10 to 11% growth is there. And now another trend has come, like the people now, the young people, they are also traveling. They are not opting for this group tours, but still aged people, like people of my age or maybe. And basically, if you see the Indian culture, we are not the one like just husband and wife pick up the bag and they will go. Usually it's always with the family or friends. That's our background, that's our culture. So the tours, the organized tours are this, definitely is going to be the, you can say, is going to be the in thing, it's going to be the part, and it will go on for a long time, because still that individuality has not come in our society, our culture. So it will be there. I mean, even youngsters, they prefer to go with their brothers, sister, cousins, and friends, and they make a group and they go. And it's always still, we are in not that independent, or we like to rely on somebody. I mean, everything is taken care of, and we want to relax. We don't want to get into the hassle of looking for a restaurant, looking for a travel or whatever, commuting or things. So people prefer. So this guided tours or organized tours is going to be there, and it's going to be a big business for coming few years at least, that I'm pretty sure. And that's why there is a tremendous scope, because new companies are entering into this field, people are traveling, and more people will travel. I'm very sure about it. So it's a good profession, you can say. So I don't know still if I can uh, what can I say? Whatever I could like think of and just say, I've said it. So I don't know whether I've missed out on anything, because I just, as I said earlier, I've just concentrated on one particular aspect of this tourism industry, which is the tour managing. But it's a good profession, I will say, and interesting. And of course, organizing a tour and that's totally different. It's a big thing. Yes, but there is a scope. Even if somebody wants to start on their own, yes, you can start with a small thing on a domestic tours, and then gradually you can just get into the international thing as well. But certainly there is a future for this industry, this particular profession. Over to you, Aditi. Hi.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a brief of your career and your industry knowledge. That will really help us to know more insights and give us a good idea about that industry. So now we all had a few questions and would be great if you can help us answering the same. So
I
let's
will
get
try to
started with the
certainly.
yeah. So the first question is, sir, could you help us to highlight your biggest milestone that you have achieved so far in your career that helped you to learn
Okay.
and grow?
That has helped me to
Learn
come
and
again.
grow. Learn and grow.
Milestone. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, just to talk about the milestones, I can't say but of course, it's always a learning process. Even if I'm just like a couple of years I'm doing, but still the next tour will be a learning form for me, because of course, but over a period of time, like I'm doing tours. Of course, it was a different kind of tour what I was doing, and not what I'm doing now. It's a leisure tour, but milestones I can say, nowadays I have come to that position. Now company can just put me on any tour, even if it's a new destination for me, even for the company, that they have a little bit of confidence in me where they can send me. And at the same time, when we have a new drivers in Europe, uh, they make sure I'm on that particular tour, because when the new driver is as new as anyone, and of course, nowadays with the GPS and everything, you have everything, routes and everything. It's all sorted. It's taken care of. But still, it's not still you need few things, or someone who knows his way around or something. And by fortunately, I'm good with the roads as well. So whenever there is a new driver, the company will try to fix me with him. So there shouldn't be any problem. And of course, as I said, it's always a learning thing, so I cannot say I've achieved anything. Only thing I can say, I have become a different person than what I used to be, because cricket, my profession, was too individual. I was trying to make my name, and I was just concentrating on myself. Of course, it was a teamwork all the time, but here it is, I have to look after 50 people. I have to take care of 50 people. I cannot be me, even if I have few things. So I have learned a lot. I have changed. My attitude has changed toward looking at the society or people. I've calmed down a bit as well. So there are so many things which, it's quite interesting. But
Okay.
yes, I have achieved a lot. I mean, I'm a different personality now than what I used to be.
Okay. That's really very interesting to hear about that. So our next question is, did you see any change in your personal life after this professional change?
Oh, certainly, yes. As I said, I just mentioned to you, Aditi, that yes, I was a bit short-tempered. I was too concentrated on my career when I was playing cricket. I was just focused on that. I mean, and yes, bit impatient as well, but the things are totally changed now. Of course, that tenacity or to fight back was always there. So being a sportsman, you always had to, even in a grim conditions or very bad conditions, you have to fight back and you have to win. Here also is the same thing. Whatever the problem comes, like, you need to you need to do your job. But that has changed. Like I said, I'm a totally different personality now. My friends can also vouch for that. And you know yes, it changes your attitude towards the society, because basically it's a man management or the management of the people to take care and to make them happy, to send them back happy. That's your job, and it's very difficult, and you have to be passionate, you have to be cool, you have to keep your cool, and just you have to be, like I said earlier again as well, that yes, you need to be firm. You need to be polite, but you need to be firm, because you have to get the job done. So it changes your total approach towards people, and obviously it follows like in your personal life as well. So it does change.
Okay. Yeah. We can learn many things from you about this. Yeah. So our next question is, yeah, really. So our next question is that what type of skills we need for this sector?
Yes, that's very important. Like, first of all, you need to be I mean, the greatest will be the first, your liking about traveling. Then, second is your communication skill, because that is most important. Communicating with the people. You need a
Yeah.
pleasant personality. You need to be nice. You need to be kind to people. You just be around. But the communication skills, then the knowledge about whatever the places where you're going, you need to work on that. You need to do some homework on that, about the history. I'm not saying just like a guide you should know each and every year about the birth and death or whatever, the crown coronations. It's not that, but you need to know few things, like you need to know the history, you need to know the geography, a little bit about the customs, the culture. It's always nice to tell people when you're traveling, because there is a lot of people, a lot of time, especially when you're on the coach. So you need to communicate, tell the people about the history, little bit of geography. You need to entertain them. Not necessary you should be singing or anything, but you should be keeping them. The communication is very important. And of course, as I said, the knowledge and passion. I mean, you need to be passionate about your work. And as I said, at the moment, there is no, at least I don't know any curriculum or any university which is uh, having this course. But it's always better to do a travel and tourism course. So at least you know the basics. So you know few things about the world, about the countries, about the destination. So if you're going to some country, it's even if it's a domestic tour. If you're going, suppose if you're going to Jaipur, it's better to read a bit about it, to know about it, about a little bit of history. That's very important. And basically, uh, managing people communication skills, that's very important. And discipline, you have to be disciplined, because the entire group is on you. If you don't maintain the discipline, it's going to go haywire. So you have to be polite but firm, and you should be disciplined about the timings, because timings are very important in this profession. Because basically it's like coach tour or whatever tours you are doing, the timings are important. In certain number of days, you have to see so many things. So maintaining the time, maintaining the schedule is very important. So you need to be disciplined about the timings, about the things. So that's very important. And communication.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for your answer. Your next question is, we see a good transition from hotels to villas. So how do you see this continuing in future?
Say hotel to villas again. You're this if you're talking about the guided tours or the conducted tours, what I was talking about, hotel to villas, that's not going to make a lot of difference except when it comes to money. But if you're talking from the viewpoint of an individual traveler, then it's different. Like, obviously, because the cost of a villa, I mean, we're talking about the guided tours. So only that's going to change. But what happens, the companies, they're always looking at like economy, economical tours, and they try to give you maximum that. And this transition, yes, it's certainly good, because when you go to the villas, like obviously you have more room. But when more room, you have more facilities, maybe a small swimming pool, a garden, or anything. But just tell me, when you are on this kind of a tour, you don't get time to do that. To
Yeah.
start your day. I mean, I'm just telling you my schedule in Europe. My schedule in Europe starts at average, yeah, 6, 7, 8. What is 6? 6 is a backup, 7 is a breakfast, and 8 will leave. 7:45 we start loading. And by the time after dinner, when we check into the hotel, it's always 9, 9:30 or 8:30, 10. So you hardly have any time. You're traveling throughout the day. So you're not there to enjoy. Certainly for individual travels, or if you're just few friends who are visiting any place and you book that, that's different, because you are on your own. Like, but for guided tours, it's not going to make much difference. Like, and you will not enjoy much unless you are going to stay at a particular place for 2 3 days or 2 3 nights or something. Then it's different. But for this sort of a tours, it doesn't make much difference. Like, but people, the young generation nowadays, of course, people, I mean, young people like you, they certainly they want to book a villa. But and it's going to definitely is going to be a future. But at the same time, this kind of a tour or this kind of a hotels, that is also going to stay at least for a while. But it's good transition, obviously. But then the concept is little different than what I was talking about.
Okay, that was really good. So our next question is: did you take any learnings from your previous profession that help you in this profession?
Tenacity, or just to fight back. As a
Oh,
sportsman, you don't want to lose, no matter how the situation is bad or grim. You just
yeah.
want to win. You want to excel. So here, not excel, but you want to do good, no matter what problem. If there is a breakdown with your coach, if you have been knocked out by the hotel, in a different hotel, different accommodation, or when you book some services which are on the tour, and the last moment they say, "Nay, you do not have the booking," and that's the time you just have to keep the cool. The way we used to keep the cool while batting or playing or on the field, it helps, like, not to give up and just to fight back. So certainly it has helped. And yes, sportsman spirit, a little bit it also helps, like, take the things in a stride for a while. So it did, yes, certainly. But like, again, I said, when I was doing that, it was totally a individual thing, like, to excel. Here, you are with the people, you are sort of a face of the company, and you have to bring them back happy, smiling, and laughing. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your answer. Our next question is that what is that one difference between both the professions, good or bad, but other than actual work? What is that one difference?
Just like I mentioned, I think here you're looking at individual thing. One difference, you just want to excel, no matter you want to win, no matter what it is, whether it's a like sometimes you just have to, what you can say, ruthless or rude. Here you just can't do that. You have to consider everything. But yes, otherwise I can't say anything as such. But this is the major difference here. You're individual. Here you're with the group, and that's the thing. At least that's what I can think of. I mean, you want to do best in both the professions. Here you are there as an individual. You want to fight back, and sometimes you can be ruthless. You can be rude. Here you can't do that with your service providers, with your passengers. You want to maintain the timing. There are one or two families who are always late. You want to maintain your time, but I can't just say, I can't be rude. Like, I need to be polite but firm. Yes, you have to do it, and that's my job to get it done. In my profession, if I have to win, I will go a little bit out of way, little bit rude, and I can do that. Here I can't do that.
Yeah. Okay. So our next question is that what what do you take, or what is that one bad thing about your previous profession and that makes you good in this profession?
No, I cannot say anything bad, because that's my first love, cricket.
Yeah.
So there was nothing
That's very
bad
nice.
as such. In fact, whatever I am today, that's because of cricket. See, so I cannot say anything bad about it. Whatever I am today was we were playing cricket, and that's how we had this idea to take the boys abroad, those aspiring cricketers. And we started. First tour was not a professional; it was just like a sort of a. We organized it for the sake of it, just to go and play, give an opportunity to boys, youngsters to play. But later, yes, it converted into a profession for us. So I don't think anything bad. I mean, not a cricket, definitely no. And
Okay.
I'm still passionate about it, and I still sometimes I do play.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your answer. Our next question is: what are the career options in tour and travel management industry?
Yes, there is a lot of scope, as I said, and for just there are a lot of courses, not for tour manager, but for travel and tourism, there are a lot of courses which have been offered privately as well as I think even Bombay University has one. I'm not too sure, but certainly yes, an ITA exam. If you give that, it's a sort of a recognition, sort of a certificate. And as I said, this tourism industry is growing so much since last 10, 12 years. As I said, at least Madam will be in better position to tell you than me. That's as far as my knowledge, it's at least 10 to 11% growth has happened since last few years. So a lot of new tour operators are coming, tour companies are coming, and they need professionals. They need people like ticketing. There are so many things like ticketing you can do, like ticketing, then operations, marketing, tour managers, because every company they need that, and there is a market for everyone. So everybody is doing well since last couple of years, and yes, there is a scope, and there are courses as well. So IITA, if you do, definitely that's sort of a you can say a landmark where people will definitely consider when they hire people. If somebody is with a travel and tourism course or with a IITA, it's going to help. And so many companies are coming, and they will grow further as well, because as I said, a lot of people are just I mean, people want to travel now, especially people, young people, like you, definitely. So even if you go on your own or join a tour, like certainly you will be looking for a accommodation. You might do it on your own, but still the facilities, you need the facilities, you need the services, you need the opportunity. So there is a scope, and definitely is industry which is growing day by day. Only because of this pandemic, last couple of months it just down, but otherwise it's very very good, and there is a scope, and a lot of courses are offered. So certainly you can offer that, and well, if you get into a good company, I mean, there are so many big companies in Bombay, even in India. So there's a good opportunity for employment. Certainly.
Okay.
I mean, there's a good future for this industry, and not only that. I mean, not only touring. If you're the hotels, the restaurants, the hiring companies, the car services, escorting, and guides, that is also part of a tourism industry, isn't it? There is a
Yeah.
lot of as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Now, this is my last question. And as you said that after this pandemic year, there are so many or people are very eager to go out. So, what are your views that how do you see tourism industry coming back on the track after this
It
pandemic?
it will come, because as I said, the only thing basically this industry, what I am talking about, only if you look at the leisure industry was talking about, which is sort of it's a leisure industry. So people, unless they are very comfortable, if the vaccine comes in another couple of days and if the results are there, then certainly people are going to get out, because they were just they were behind the door or behind bars for a while, for a couple of months. So people have saved money as well. They want to spend, they want to get out. Only thing, they need a confidence, which if you have this for vaccine in another couple of days, then if the results are good, certainly it's going to pick up. At least it's going to start with domestic, because I'm not too sure about the European market at the moment, because Europe, I heard that most of them are going to close till March, and they're going to have restrictions. But in India, certainly it will be open, and people will certainly travel. Only thing, as I said, it's a leisure travel. So if we do not have a vaccine or if do not have a confidence, then people can always postpone it. See, business travel is different, where you can't help it, whether it's a pandemic or not, you have to go because it's a business. But when it comes to leisure travel, unless people are comfortable, they will not come out. But certainly, I'm pretty sure that the things that look good by at least end of December, we should have something. The results will be out in another 2 3 months, and the summer, our summer as well as the European summer, should be all right. Like people will start traveling, and of course there will be some restriction. There will be few things, but people are they're just behind the door for a long time. They want to just go out, spend. They have saved the money as well in last 8 months, so obviously they want to spend and they want to have good time. This industry is good. It's interesting. The world has come closer, so there is a good future. Just keep our fingers crossed that we come out with the world come out with something, some medicine or vaccine, and things will be better. I'm unemployment, to be honest, this last summer, so I'm also looking forward for it. And so we have a good season and good good tours, like I can say, good business or whatever.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your collaboration with us in this session. And it was really very nice to hear you and
I
taking
hope so.
knowledge from you. So, thank you so much again. So, over to you, Yash, for vote of thanks.
Thank you, Aditi.
Good afternoon to all. The best and the beautiful thing in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt by heart. Thank you is one such prayer among them. I consider it a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks to all the dignitaries who have witnessed it as a memorable and a successful event. I extend a very long heartily vote of thanks to today's main speaker, Honorable Shri Atul Surve sir. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to Honorable President Shri Satish Pradhan Sahib, Honorable Secretary Shri Kamlesh Pradhan sir, enthusiastic management member Mrs. Mansi Pradhan Madam, Treasurer Shri Satish Seth sir, Principal Dr. C.D. Marathi sir, and Dr. Bangade sir. Last but not the least, I would like to thank the Department of Mathematics and Statistics, Organizing Committee, IT team, and all the other participants for showing their interest in today's program. I once again thank everyone for making this program a success. Thank you.